School Buffs.
As y'all come on in and watch, man, hit that like button. As you tuning in, hit that like button, show some love, man. Let us know you fucks with us. I'm talking about Double R, Season 7, 2030. We are in Week 8, early season recap. Not a lot to talk about, man. You know, early on, man, when you playing college football, early on, I mean, one of the most important things of the season is not only once you got your team put together and, you know, y'all attacking the field and y'all trying to become a better football team than y'all were the year before, you also are trying to build your program at the same time. So the recruiting aspect of playing in EA Sports College Football 25 is very important. And how you doing recruitment is very important. Talent win football games, right? The Jimmies and Joes win ball games. X and O's keep you competitive, but the Jimmy and Joes that execute those X and O's is going to put you in a situation, right? And we have situations, man. Just to do a whole recap of the history since 2024, we are in our 7th season. So let's take you through the last 6 full seasons we had, where we had in 2024 the Colorado Buffaloes with Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter made it to the Natty in the first ever 12-team playoff series, right? Made it to the Natty, and they went up against the Oregon Ducks, and that's going to be a theme throughout this whole conversation over the first 6 seasons, full 6 seasons, right? With Colorado and Coach Prime winning his first national championship in 2024. In 2025, new roster, new team, and guys are going into the season, new roster, new teams, and those Oklahoma Sooners. And Coach Max played the Oregon Ducks in the second championship matchup we had in our Double R League, winning that ball game, giving the Oklahoma Sooners a national championship. Now, in 24, going into 25, that national championship was Colorado and Oregon, with Colorado winning. And 25, going into 26, that was Oklahoma playing Oregon, with Oklahoma winning. In 2026, Miami, the U. I think at that point, the Miami Hurricanes started to become the U again, right? They started exercising the athletes of the old Miami University teams, right? The Jimmy Johnsons as head coaches, the history of Miami, right? The talented NFL players, the Hall of Famers that came out of that school. They started to channel that. And in 2026, 2027 season, they decided that they were going to be national champions, taking on, once again, the Oregon Ducks. So our first 3 championship games, Oregon has been in all 3, right? The theme is not over. And the Miami Hurricanes win their title, giving the 3rd championship winner to the Miami Hurricanes. Season 4, you go right back to the national championship game, and you're dealing with the Oregon Ducks in that game as well. And I think they took on the Miami Hurricanes, winning their first title ever. In season 5, the Oregon Ducks got right back to the national championship game, winning their second title back to back too. And then in season 6, they go back to the title game. So Oregon Ducks has played in all 6 championships thus far, and they win again, and they did it. All their championship victories came under Achilles Smith Jr. as their starting quarterback, giving them a 3-3 record in national championship games, where they were able to get to 500 in the last season, beating Colorado. They beat the shit out of Colorado, 27-3, in that national championship game. But as you go through seasons, and now we are at season 7, as you go through seasons, it's all about your roster, how you building it, what's going on with it, are you ready to compete, right? I'll talk about Colorado because that's my football team. We'll talk about the Colorado Buffaloes, and in the last couple of championship games they did play in, and playoff series they did play in, I think they came into those games with a very young football team, which is beneficial now because they've been running with the number 1 quarterback in the nation, Marshal Manning, Peyton Manning's son. He came out 2 seasons ago or 3 seasons ago and has been the starting quarterback for the Colorado Buffaloes since his true freshman year. He's in his true junior year right now. And that team has developed and grew with him, right? So although they lost pieces, they are building pieces big time. They had the number 1 or number 2 class over the last 4 seasons when it comes down to recruiting, right? And you bring in those type of blue chip players in, you're building your program. You start to program it. Miami University has been one of those football teams that has been building a great football program as well. When we say the U is back, they're definitely back, right? And what you're seeing with that is not only are they sending guys right back to the NFL, first, second round guys all over the place, they are retooling every year, being in the top of the bracket when it comes down to recruiting. Another team that's doing a really good job in recruiting, has been doing it over the last 6 seasons, is the Ohio State Buckeyes. And that's no surprise, right? The Ohio State Buckeyes have always been top recruiting school. But I think what their head coach is doing over there and what their recruiting team is doing over there is really second to none, right? Like, they are bringing them in and bringing them in big time. I think the Oregon Ducks is one of those teams that the players buy into the program. And what I mean by that is they don't get guys leaving early, right? They're not attacked by the draft heavy guys leaving to go to the NFL early, right? Redshirt sophomore. As soon as they're eligible, guys hitting the league. Oregon does a really good job of keeping their base at home, right? These guys, they do a good job at NIL so much that no one really leaves their football team. So that puts them in a situation where they're an upper class team. And when they take the field in the playoffs, the experience of their football team shows up. And it did in the last 3 seasons, right? That's why they're 3-peats right now. We got some new programs, some new coaches that came in the league. We want to welcome back top tier Craig. He's taking on a challenge in Notre Dame team, right? Notre Dame has really been hit with a lot of probation and suspension situations where they hasn't been able to recruit or nothing. So they got 22 players on their football team right now. And he's going to do a really good job of retooling that roster and putting it back together as he's attacking his season 1. Florida State takes on Taste the God. He's the coach for Florida State right now. He's trying to bring that program back to relevancy. How about Coach Ty taking over to North Carolina? Tar Heels bringing them back to relevancy, right? We had a user on in the beginning of the year, 2024, going into 2025, that was doing a really good job in recruiting and winning ball games with that program. Our Penn State coach has been doing a hell of a job keeping his team managed and putting the talent out there. Like, you see the blue blood. Simple as that, right? Auburn has a first-year coach and Rob back taking on that Auburn Tiger program, right? Helping to build that SEC up to the talented level, right? So we got some really good teams, man. Texas has stepped up. The Texas coach has really been balling out right now. He's trying to position himself to take over the SEC, right along with Alabama as well. So we got some really good coaches coaching some really good football teams and doing some really good football things right now. And we're going to dig into the number 1 thing we're going to talk about right away. Let's get to it. Let's go to the blue chips and see what's going on around the country. Before we get to the prospect list, let's take a look at the top classes right now. So, all right. So as of week 8, top classes in the country right now, you're looking at Ohio State sitting at number 1. All right. 266 points, 266.50 to be exact. They brought in 9 5-stars thus far with verbal commits and 10 4-stars with verbal commits. Colorado sitting at number 2. 20 players already verbally committed. You got 7 5-stars and 13 4-stars. So a total of 20 blue chip players in the building. How about Miami? They got 21 in the building with 2 5-stars, 19 4-stars. verbally committed. And then once again, the Texas Longhorns with 15 in the building, all 4 stars, but they're blue chips. We'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. 15 of them are verbally committed to the Texas Longhorns right now. Now, how about Albert has been doing a really good job over the last 2 years. Coach Al and those LSU Tigers, they've been doing a really good job over the last couple of seasons right now. They brought 13 in the building right now. They got 2 5 stars in the building. We're looking at D tackle Williams and right outside linebacker McGee. 2 5 stars and 11 4 stars in the building. USC, they lost their coach, but the recruiting is still recruiting over there, right? 10 4 stars, 1 3-star at number 6 in the country right now. And then Alabama sitting at 7 in recruiting with 4 5 stars in the building, 5 4 stars in the building. So they got a total of 9 players in house right now on verbal commits. They right tackle Ivory, right tackle Kiki, strong safety Wooten, right end Coleman, and strong safety Beckner. Wisconsin, unmanned right now, right? They send at number 9 with 9 4 stars in the building right now. How about Boston College in the ACC with 12 3 stars, 3 2 stars? Oklahoma's back at it again. They are sitting with 8 recruits right now, 1 5-star, 7 4 stars. Oklahoma dominated the first 2 recruiting classes, and they're trying to get back in the mix and making them their school relevant again, and both recruiting and playoffs and championships again. They're the number 2 team in the nation right now, sitting with 8 recruits brought in at number 10 right now. Now, as we go to prospect list and we look at the top 5 stars and see where they all popped off at right now, there's 32 5 stars in the country, and the number 1 player in the nation has verbally committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide, right? Right tackle Adrian Ivory from out of Fairfield, Alabama. They keep in hometown talent home, right? 6'5", 300 pounds, an agile right tackle, and he beat out teams such as Florida State, Ole Miss, Florida Gators, and LSU. The number 2 player in the country, D tackle Tyler Williams. All right, D tackle out of Florence, Alabama. They attack Alabama, keeping SEC down south football. Power rusher, 6'4", 315 pounds. He's the number 1 D tackle in the nation. He's number 2 in the state of Alabama, and he's number 2 nationally ranked right now. Number 3, big boys. This is the big house 5-star game right now, right? Right tackle Charles Dragudrukovic. Right tackle from out of Detroit, Michigan. So they go in Michigan's backyard and go steal their number 2 player out of the state of Michigan. Number 2 player at his position, but the number 1 player in the state of Michigan, number 3 nationally. Power right tackle, 6'6", 339 pounds. This guy has a football body right now to go play right now. Like, he's not a guy that's going to have to come in and, really sit because of, like, if he's talented enough to play, he has the size to play. Let's just call it what it is. All right, Alabama in the top 5. They got 2 of the top 5 talents of the 5-star community right now, right? LaMarcus Kiki, right tackle, agile. It look like they're looking at a certain prototype. They want guys that can move around, right? 6'4", 310, right? Out of the state of Georgia, Rochelle, Georgia. And he's the number 3 right tackle, number 1 in the state of Georgia, and nationally ranked number 4. As we continue to look at these 5 stars being brought in right now, you got to go down to the number 5th player in the nation right now. You're looking at our first defense end. The Big Ten country, they raid in Michigan right now, big time. Penn State brings in the number 5 player in the nation, Jason Spencer. Again, nationally ranked number 5. He's number 2 in the state of Michigan and number 1 at his position as a speed rusher. He's 6'5", 264 pounds, beating out Michigan, Kentucky, Cincinnati, and Wisconsin. Now, the number 1 quarterback in the nation, Marlon Selvia, right? 6 in the nation, number 1 in the state of Florida. They went in Miami, Florida State, and Florida's backyard and took Bradenton, Florida, and took on a scrambler, 6'2", 209 pounds. Again, the number 1 quarterback in the nation right now. The kid is lighting it up in Bradenton, Florida right now for his senior year. It's going crazy right now. And he's been in all the camp circuits as a junior. And he also won the Elite 11 over the summer as a junior. Now, this is a super freak that, honestly, Ohio State has been known for getting these type of prototype wide receivers. But this one, I think, is a guy that is really special, right? Like very, very special. Physical receiver, 6'6", 213 pounds, out of Port Charlotte, Florida. So you see they're attacking the entire mat right now in Ohio State. The number one receiver in the country, number 7 overall, number 2 in the state of Florida. 6'6", 213 pounds. This kid runs the 4.2. At the Nike camp, he was clocked in running a 4.2. He has bounced 98 jumping, so you know he's jumping over 40 inches, right? Special catches damn near 90. Like, this guy is a go get it, right? But he's also a legit route runner as well. Like, he can run the route tree. And he has the speed to get behind you. And then if you got to go play 50-50 ball, he can go get it over anybody with that frame, 6'6", 213 pounds. Super freak, Daryl Zettel. The number 8 5-star in the country is D-tackle Dom Oroki. All right, run stopper from out of Acton, Massachusetts, right? 6'2", 315. Number 2 at the position, number 1 in that state, and ranked number 8, right? 6'2", 315. This kid is he's a run stopping demon. He's a tackle for loss demon, beating out the likes of Miami, Penn State, Oregon, and Ohio State. As you can see, to be able to win that battle against some top programs right there. Number 9, quarterback, number 2 quarterback in the nation, another scrambling quarterback. How about Tobias Pasco out of Cleveland, Oklahoma? 6'3", 196, right? Dual threat, really good speed, and a strong arm. Takes his talent to the University of Miami. I think that's a perfect pickup as a quarterback, right? Like, you got hoodie and goggles as the starting quarterback. He's in his junior year, which is he's eligible for the NFL draft, and they're going to bring in a blue chip for sure, one of the best quarterbacks in the country in his class, to be able to come in and get ready to replace, along with guys on the roster to be able to compete. You just want competition in each room, right? Each position group, you want competition in those rooms to be able to figure it out. And the more they compete, and the better that room gets, right? And I think Miami did a good job in bringing in Tobias Pasco to be able to do exactly that. The 10th player in the nation is middle linebacker from out of Watertown, Wisconsin. And he's 6', 229. Spencer Cutting, number 10 in the nation, number 1 in the state of Wisconsin, and number 1 at his position. When you look at his Tennessee pass coverage linebacker, as a junior, he recorded 10 interceptions. He's a guy that can really, really play real well in the pass game. He is an off-ball linebacker, though, but he does a good job in coverage as well as coming up and playing a run. But obviously, I think his upside with playing in pass coverage and pass pro makes him who he is, right? And if there's things he's going to have to work on is the run game, right? Like, at 6 foot, can you really beat up on guards and get around those guys? You better fill run holes and continue the great success of middle linebacker for the Colorado Buffaloes. All right, the number 11th player hasn't signed yet, and we're looking at that Rugamba, right? Receiving back, athlete too, right? This guy can play multiple positions out of Salem, Oregon. So Oregon's looking to keep him in their own backyard, getting pressured by Cal and Washington. A lot of the schools that's after these guys. This guy is all on the West Coast, looking at Boise State and Stanford, all in the mix. He's the number 1 running back in the country, and he's the number 1 athlete in the country. Let's go look at the backs real fast. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5-star running backs in this class right now, and the guy that's leading the pack is no other than the kid from Oregon right now. If you look at his profile, you're looking at a guy that has a receiver tendency, right? Like, but he's been a guy over his 3 seasons, right? Even with his senior season right now, you're looking at a guy that's going to go well over 6,000 yards rushing and 2,000 yards as a receiver. He's an athlete. This guy might play receiver for the Oregon Ducks. You never know. They got to lock him up, right? Cal giving him heavy pressure right now. He's really tied to his top 3 right now, Washington, Cal, and Oregon. Oregon with the upper hand right now, looking like they're going to sign him, though. All right, one of the big time corners that was really being recruited by everybody in the nation, right? But the teams that was really on him heavy is Ohio State, Colorado, and Miami. And at one point, Colorado was the front runner in this recruit battle. But then Cordell Ramish went on his visit to Ohio State and came out of there with a verbal commitment. Like he went from about to commit to Colorado to Psycha Dyke, Cordell Ramish, cornerback, slot corner, 6 foot 182. Very good out of Harrisburg, PA. Really good speed, intelligent. Right, this kid kind of can play a little bit of safety, like, and to play nickel corner in college is probably one of the toughest positions to play because you're gonna draw the slot receivers. They're fast guys. You got to better cover man to man. You got to better be really good in zone coverage. And I think he checks all those boxes, Cordell Remish. And I don't think this is a kid that has to wait. I think he comes in and plays day one. All right, so at 13 and 14 is a runoff of Ohio State, right? They get defensive end Corbin Doyle, the speed rusher, 6'5", 241 pounds out of Middle Village, New York. Ohio State takes on him. You got Oregon, USC, Penn State, and Miami was in the mix. Ohio State brings him in, and they're looking to add to that very talented defensive end room. Now, over the last couple of seasons, Ohio State has had one of the best defensive lines in the country. They're young, right? They're starting two true sophomores right now at the defensive end. So this guy, I do think there's an upside in them getting him. I think he signed with them knowing that he can come in and kind of play ASAP, right? And then he knows they send guys to the NFL at this position, so his deal breaker is pro potential. Number 14, we're looking at Brad Whitaker, athlete, running back. He's number 2 running back in the nation, number 3 in the state of Florida, and number 14 overall out of the 5-star. He's the 14th ranked 5-star, and he takes on Miami, Oklahoma, Oregon, Alabama, and he goes into Miami's backyard and brings out an elusive back, 5'11", 184. Our 15th player isn't signed. Look like Notre Dame is looking to bring in a 5-star quarterback, and they need it, right? Mitch Adams. This is Coach Craig starting to put his classes together to turn this football team into his own football team, and they go get themselves a 6'2", 220-pound scrambler out of L.A., right, Louisiana, West Monroe. All right, I got you. Yep. So Mitch Adams, the 15th player in the nation at the 15th overall 5-star. He's number 1 in his state, and he's 3rd in the position. How about UCLA taking on running back 5'10", 193, and they're in the mix for another running back as well, but they take on Cole Casey. They keep him in California, in Bellflower, California. They keep him home, and he signs verbally commits to the UCLA Bruins. At 17, you're looking at Neil Fasano, athlete, scrambler, another quarterback, 6'5", 200 pounds, Oakland, California. Looks like UCLA wants to bring him in as well as Boise State and Washington in his top 3. Who's going to get him, though? Right now, it looks like UCLA is leading in that race. And they bring in 2 5-stars at the quarterback and the running back position. And they're in a mix for a couple guys, too. Due process, right? All right, one of the fastest running backs in the country in this class, 2030 class, is Mike Huntley. And he's out of Duncan, South Carolina. Elusive back, 6'1", 195. Speed demon, right? 95 speed already. Track star looking to come take his talents out there to Coach Prime and Marshall Falk in the running back room. This win is a Marshall Falk win, right? When you got a gold jacket like Marshall Falk coaching your football team, or coaching your running backs, you're going to attract some running backs. And right now they did attract the 4th overall running back in the country. Outside linebacker Isaac Battles, number 19 in the nation, number 1 at his position, though. Lakewood, California, pass coverage. It looks like Colorado's going after, pass coverage linebackers right now. They're looking like because they got a really good secondary. They brought in really good corners and really good safeties over the last 3 classes. Right now, they're looking to bring in those linebackers to better help in pass coverage as well. You can see the identity of what Coach Prime is attacking right now. You know exactly what he's looking for, what he's attacking. His middle linebacker cutting was a pass coverage guy, and Isaac Battles. Now, he could play off ball and on ball as a linebacker right now. 6', 238. I don't know if he'll sit as an outside linebacker for this football team or will he get moved inside to go along with Spencer Cutter. The 20th player in the nation, right tackle Dylan Ty, goes to, surprise, surprise, Ohio. Ohio State does a really good job of keeping players home, right? Mason, Ohio, they're not letting nobody come in their backyard and take their players. 6'6", 301 power is his tendencies. He's number 4 in the nation at right tackle, the number 20th overall 5-star. 21, DeAndre Chun, 6'3", 260 pounds, 61-pound run stopper. He out of Clovis. What's NM? Minnesota? What the fuck is NM?
New Mexico.
New Mexico. They going all over the map to get their players. Obviously, he's number 1 in the state of New Mexico. They ain't gonna find too many 5-stars coming out of there. All right, 2 at his position at right end right now. 6'3", 261 pounds. They did a really good job at their defensive end room. They lost some dogs, especially the 2 IMG products. So they brought in some elite line defensive ends. They brought 4 elite DNs in last class, and they look like they want to add to that with DeAndre Chung. All right, quarterback Jeff Fasano, number 5 at his position, 6'1", 210-pound athlete. Like, look, he did a little bit of everything. He played some receiver, and he played quarterback. They said he was a 5-star receiver just as well as quarterback. Jeff Fasano. Look, this kid absolutely is the fastest quarterback in the country. Unless somebody else can show me something else. I don't know if there's another quarterback with 93 speed, 94 excel right now, with 94 throw power in the country right now, coming out of high school right now in 2030. Again, with Marshal Manning in his draft eligible year as a true junior, not a bad thing to bring in a replacement like this, a guy that can fight in that room. At number 23, D tackle Elton Kamar, run stopper, 6'3", 332-pound mammoth from Ardmore, Oklahoma. He beat out LSU, Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma to be able to bring in the number 3 D tackle in the country, number 2 in the state of Oklahoma. Run stopper, right? Strength is his game, right? This guy is 95 strength. He's a guy that's going to be able to try to get into a deep D tackle room. Colorado has a really good defensive tackle room already with a bunch of blue chips. Can he crack the code over there, or is he going to be a guy? He said he's not. He just wants to come and learn under Warren Sapp. He has no problem red shirt, and if it comes down to that, but he's going to compete to get on the field as soon as possible. And he said at Colorado, they know that they play freshmen there. That if you are good enough to play, you're going to play. So that's why he chose Colorado thus far, right? Our number 24th player in the nation isn't signed to anyone yet. Montreal Jackson. He's number 2 cornerback in the nation, man-to-man specialist, right? 5'11", 183, out of Dearborn, Michigan. And once again, Penn State is raiding Michigan. So Ohio State, Penn State, they've been tearing Michigan up. And this with the 5 stars, like, you gotta better keep your guys at home. Michigan not doing a good job of keeping their guys home. They're staying in the Big Ten, but they're going to their rivals. They're going to Ohio State and Penn State. That's a smack in your face. Montreal Jackson, right? 24th in the nation, number 3 in the state of Michigan, number 2 at his position at cornerback. Penn State look like they're going to beat out Michigan for this race for this 5-star. Alabama has the 25th kid, the safety Kadeem Wooten, 6'1", 213 pounds, out of Hinsdale, Illinois. Beat out Ohio State and Michigan for this player. Tell you one thing, coming out of high school, this kid got big time size, 25 nationally, state 1, and position 1, 6'1", 213. That's really good size for a safety. How about the 26th player in the nation, running back, 6'2", 239-pound, David Mendenhall. Now, some people see that power back and think, all right, he's going to have good. No. This guy has elusive running back speed. Like, they just had a guy that hit the NFL as a first rounder, and Sanu, right, that left the building that was kind of like this. They called him Baby Eddie George, right? This kid comes in and gives them another one of those type of running backs. And it's the prototype that Ohio State goes after. When they're ready to go after one, they go get D1, right? And I think they got D1 and Mendenhall, right? This kid is not only a 92, 93 speed, like, so he's a 4-4 guy and a linebacker body right out of London, Ohio. Keep your in-state talent in-state and build your program inside out. Simple as that. Number 27, left tackle. He's the number one left tackle in the country, Jeremiah Whitaker. He stays in home in Florida and goes to Miami, Jacksonville, Florida, but he goes to Miami at 6'6", 324 pounds, man. He's like one of those guys that if he's not a day one plug and play guy, he's going to be on that depth chart, not as a red shirt. Like this guy will crack the depth chart somehow, whether it's second team or third team, but he's going to be on the traveling squad and all that. I don't see them red shirt him at all. How about the number 28 five-star decides to take his talent to Western Kentucky? Right tackle from Avon, Connecticut, agile, 6'4", 299 pounds. He beats out Syracuse. Really wasn't too many guys. Penn State didn't seem like they even offered him a scholarship. So it might be something that we know about this guy that these big schools didn't really go after him. I wonder why and what was the message there. But guess what? Western Kentucky got themselves one. And at 29, you're looking at Emmanuel Petit, speed demon, right? This is a 4-2 guy, right? Hitter out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Emmanuel Petit, 6'3", 200-pound track star, right? Like this guy is a 10-2 guy and a 100 for sure. He's one of those guys that will step on the field day one and probably be a kick returner, punt returner to replace Ted Ginn Jr. and then work his way into the offensive lineup eventually, right? Like they got time to develop in that wide receiver room because they are loaded in that wide receiver room. So they bring in the number 2 receiver and the number 1 receiver, both big bodies, no diddy, 6'6" and 6'3". Both of them are blazers. Both of them are track stars. And they're football players that run track. They're not track stars that's trying to play football. They're football players that run track. LSU has the number 30th player in the nation, right outside linebacker Roger McGee. Run stopper, 6', 231. They beat out Alabama and Auburn for this player. And then Oklahoma brings in right tackle Emmanuel Ringo, 6'6", 299 pounds, from out of Norma, Oklahoma. They kept him at home, beating out Texas, Alabama. Listen, this is a guy that they said they want to put in the weight program and get him up to about 315, and allow him to be at his best from there. Alabama has the number 32. 5-star Everett Coleman, right end, speed rusher, 6'3", 261, Burlington, Wisconsin. And they beat out Oregon, Kansas State, Ohio State, and Wisconsin to will in the last player, the last 5-star in this 2030 class, and Everett Coleman. So that's your 5-star flex. That's where these 5-stars are all verbally committed to. By being in week 8, which one of these guys will be poached or removed from this program that they verbally committed to? All 32 5-stars are damn near committed. You saw about 3 that's on their way to being committed. 4, total of 4 of them that didn't give a verbal commitment yet to a program, but they're close to making their decisions. And we'll look out for that to see where those guys go. All right, let's get to what's going on around the nation stat-wise right now. Through three weeks of football right now, we're going to go to the nation and look at the stats. Quarterback play. We got some really good quarterbacks in the country right now, right, on football programs right now. Running these football programs and doing a good job at it. All right, so looking at Marshall Manning in his 3rd season right now with 3,114 yards passing right now. Right behind him is the newly starter for Oregon, Buck McClellan. Right, he's sitting at 2,800. How about Felix Talib? Hoodie and goggles, sitting with 2,678 passing yards. Then at number 4, you got to go to the Texas University with Mario Dove. He's a dog, strong arm too. Look at this Tennessee strong arm, 6'4", 206, from out of Cedar Hill, Texas, with 2,469 passing yards. Number 5. Caesar Apple out of Texas Tech. How about Jake Fete out of TCU with 2,323 passing yards. Tevin Kennedy, Troy, Frederick Broker, and then Penn State's Eric Moorridge redshirt sophomore with 2,217 passing yards. You got to go to Clemson. I watched Brett Vincent play Miami. He is a monster at quarterback, and obviously in his senior year right now. But I think he showed some NFL scouts in that Miami Clemson game that he's ready to take over a program for sure. I mean, a franchise for sure. Then we're looking at Chance Miller, the redshirt sophomore. You guys remember, if you remember the name Miller, is the reason why he's their hitter. He's the son of the great Ohio State quarterback that ended up playing different positions. He went from a blue chip quarterback at Ohio State, ended up playing like a running back slash receiver, and Braxton Miller. That's his son Chance. He's the starting quarterback for Ohio State in his redshirt sophomore year. 2,096 yards passing right now. All right, touchdown leaders. Marshal Manning with 37 touchdowns versus 7 INTs, 73% on the season right now. How about Buck McClelland, 35 touchdowns, only 1 INT, 81% right now on the year, 466 yards a game. Felix Talib, 32 touchdowns, 28 INTs though, 55%. The gunslinger has really feel like he can throw the ball anywhere at any time, and he can, but it gets him in trouble. I think you want to tone that down some as a true junior right now with 32 touchdowns and 28 INTs. Tevin Kennedy, 28 touchdowns. Booker, 28 touchdowns. Moorridge from Penn State, 28 and 14, 62%. Mario Dove, 24 touchdowns, 5 INTs, 71% on the year. Let's get to the running back game. Who got the most carries in the country right now? Javi Osborne, 133. Zach Whitaker from Army with 133. Brian Humer from UMass with 128. How many 1,000-yard backs do we have? There's one in the country right now in week 8, 1188. How about Osborne for Oregon? He comes back for his redshirt junior year, 8.9 yards a pop right now. Deshaun Raydo for Colorado, 83 carries, 781 yards, 9.4 yards a pop, 10 touchdowns. Jorge Paredes, elusive back from out of Andrews, Texas, sophomore at the University of Texas, with 76 carries for 754, 9.9 yards a pop. The power back in Auburn, he stayed home, Harvard, Alabama. Coach Rob Godding won 5'11", 227 pounds. He got 108 carries on the year, 631, and 8 touchdowns. The touchdown leaders right now, Osborne with 18. Texas is running back with 14. Colorado's Deshaun Raydo with 10. Toledo, Indiana, Jaron Tanley from out of Miami with 8. Hag Toon from Dakota Toon, the sophomore that's really not happy with Miami right now because of North Carolina with playing time right now. But the 6'3", 209-pound receiver back is 102 carries on the year, 542 yards, 8 touchdowns. I don't know what he's complaining about. I guess he feels like he's supposed to be the starter. All right, in the receiving game right now, the most catches on the year right now is C.J. Sadler and his teammate, Sincere Brown, both with 63 and 50 catches on the year right now. How about Mikey Crabtree from the Big 12, Texas Tech? Michael Crabtree's son, Mikey, 47 catches. How about Taven Troop, Miami? Melvin Littlejohn, Manu Catapano, and Lawrence Landmans, another Sandman over here as well. Yards on the season right now. C.J. Sadler Jr. with 1,208 yards receiving right now. How about the boy Tevin Troop? This is the NFL pro for sure. He's one of kick return, punt return over the last couple of years, the All-American. This kid, 44 catches, he averaged 26.3 yards a pop, 1157, and then right there, Quandre Folkerts. I think people don't pay attention to the TCU receiver. I told y'all in the championship, in the conference championship last year, this kid was a threat the whole game. Colorado versus TCU. He has 1,000 yards receiving right now. Marco Algalero in his senior year with 980 for Penn State. How about Gil Falk, the other 6'6"? That's what I'm saying. Ohio State, that's their prototype. They get these type of guys in the building. He got 17 catches, 881. He averaged, and literally, listen to this average, 52 yards a catch, 10 receiving touchdowns. What do you think Zeta going to come in and do? And why do you think he signed with with Ohio State? When you see a guy with your profile doing these type of numbers, I mean, he averaging half a football field every time he catches the football. Jaden Benchwall for Texas, 6'3", 182, 29 catches, 789 on the year. How about Sincere Brown, a transfer from Campbell, comes into Colorado, 50 catches, 745 on the year. And then Khalid Papo, he seemed like he's been around forever with Ohio State, but he's really their route runner. He's the guy that get him in and out of shit. And then Texas Tech has another receiver in the top 10, Wes Welker, with 34 catches, 737 yards as well. Deion Thomas, the redshirt freshman, 6'4", 195 from Oregon. He's a monster. He had a hell of a leap from his redshirt freshman year to his second year, right? I mean, from his true freshman year to his redshirt freshman year. 737 yards, 9 touchdowns. Lawrence Landman, and then here's Jaquez Sandland. This guy went over 2,000 yards last year, 30 catches, 733, and 10 touchdowns right now. When you talk about the touchdown makers, 16 for C.J. Sadler Jr., Troop with 14, 12 from Melifanu out of Florida. Sincere Brown with 11, Landman from out of UMass with 11 touchdowns. How about Cornell Warren, the tight end, the all-world tight end for Oregon with 11 of them things. Folkert with 10 for TCU. Aguilar, 10. You got Folk with 10. Alan Stott from out of Notre Dame with 10. How about Sandland, Jacquees Sandland, 10. Mikey Crabtree, Nate Tupa, and then you're looking at Chester Riggs with 9 touchdowns for Texas right now. We'll do defensive stats on the next show. Let's come over to college football. Let's look at the Heisman race right now. All right, Colorado's Marshal Manning is leading the Heisman race right now with C.J. Sadler, his receiver, second. He also has defensive linebacker Andy Katzenmoyer, the second. If you know who Andy Katzenmoyer is, he was a standout linebacker for Ohio State. His child is right now playing for Colorado. Javi Osborne at number 4 right now for Oregon. And then Sincere Johnson is turning up, man, for the Ohio State Buckeyes, sitting at number 3 in the race. Coming off that edge, getting to the quarterback, I think he leads the nation of sacks right now. That's your Heisman race. We'll do our top 25, and then we'll talk about the next show coming up. All right, Colorado sitting number 1 in the country. Oklahoma goes from number 4 to number 2, taking on Texas, winning that game 45-31. Them two teams has turned into a for real rival. So like the Red River rival is for real in our league right now, because between those two coaches, they be going at it. Oregon, number 3, they stayed number 3. They stayed number 3 with a big time win over Iowa. Ohio State goes from 5 to 4. They were idle too, and they moved up. Wisconsin is sitting at 5 in the Big Ten number. They went from 6 to 5 undefeated. Then you look at the last undefeated team in the country, and that's the Michigan Wolverines. They sitting at number 6 after sitting at 7. Miami at 5-1. They moved from 9 to 7. They go back up 2 spots. They took a loss to North Carolina early in the season, and they rebound from it right now. UCF sitting at 8 from 12. LSU is number 9. 4-1. They got a matchup against number 16 ranked Tennessee. All right, so number 2 to 10 goes Texas after losing to Oklahoma. They on bye right now, so they'll stay idle. Cincinnati sitting at 11, 5-1. Alabama is sitting at 12. They do take on the number 2 team in the country in Oklahoma after beating the shit out of Texas A&M 63-9. Baylor is sitting at number 13. I can see why they said the Big 12 is doing their thing right now, right? They do got 6 players. But see, when you look at the top 25, it's three Power 4 conferences with 6 ranked teams and 1 with only 4. USC 15, they go to 14 right now. 15th is Auburn. How about Coach Rob gets his Auburn Tigers inside the top 25? They at Mississippi State. Tennessee sitting at 16. Houston at 17, Rice at 18. Looking at Clemson after they lost, or they lost to Miami, they're going to drop from that 19th spot. Penn State sitting at 20. TCU at 21 with 3 losses on the year right now. North Carolina moved from 25 to 22. Now Notre Dame wasn't ranked, but they sitting at 23 right now, and at 5-0, they take on Syracuse Orangemen. East Carolina at 23 and Washington State. 24 and Washington State at 25. That rounds off your top 25 in the nation right now. Now tune into this Ohio State football game and check out our next user game, which is Alabama and Oklahoma. Hopefully, we get a response from the Oklahoma coach to see what's going on, because right now it's looking like Alabama has sent me all types of screenshots of their communication. Let's see what happens there. And when we get back to the next show, episode 2, we'll talk about a lot more and break down some of these games and the matchups that happened over the last 8 weeks. With that being said, we are out of here. I'll at you.